Welcome to our VIP guest author, Emma Swan, who's here. Can you put this on the coffee yet?
Yeah.
Bridget Wood.
Hi, brilliant.
And you are.
Thank you so much, guys. How are you? Sorry, I was too busy nattering to everyone. I'm feeling quite full from lunch. But how is everyone? Woo! No. How is everyone? Woo! Yes, fantastic. So, my name is Emma Swan, and I am the author of Cruise Ship Kids. Oh, hang on. Are we connected here, Jennifer? We connected? I didn't think it's on. Hang on. We're connected. Brilliant. So this is my book, Cruise Ship Kids, based on my childhood experiences of growing up on a cruise ship. Oh, don't worry, honestly. Anyway, if anyone's phone goes, obviously just nip out and grab it or, anything to that. Your phone. It's mine?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, sorry guys. Sorry. Oh my goodness, good start here. Oh, no. Sorry everyone, nightmare. I am just going to have to take this really quick. Is that okay? Hiya. No. Literally a horrible time. Yeah, I'm literally over that conference. Yeah, okay, bye. Wait. Yeah, no, I did just decide to wear the hat, yeah. No, nobody laughed when I came on the stage. What's happening now? Look, so I'm going to go again. Look, you did this with the video for the showcase, and now you're ringing again. Look. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. This is a nightmare. This is my main character on the phone, Silver, and she obviously doesn't trust me exactly to do this. She knows how important today is. So if it's all right with you, I'm just going to keep her on speaker for a second. Is that okay? Is that all right? Okay, so I'll keep the hat on for a bit, right? So, Cruise Ship Kid is the story of a little girl who sails around the world. What? I can hear you muttering, you're making me forget what I'm meant to say. What? So she says she's not a little girl, she's 10 and a quarter is very important. Okay, right. Fine, so I'll ask them, all right? I'll ask them. Okay, sorry guys, I promise I'll hang up on her in a second, but she wants me to ask you all, is anyone in the room 10 or older?
Yes.
Yeah, everyone's older than 10, so yeah, everyone. Okay, so could you put your hand up again if you're older than 11 years old? Still everyone. Older than 12? Right, okay, everyone. And no, that doesn't mean they're boring, Silver. Right, I'm hanging up, okay? I'm going. Put me back in the bag and that's it, okay? Goodbye. Right, look, we're hanging up the phone, everyone can see. She's gone, right? I'm putting her in here, she won't disturb us again, I promise. But, okay, so between me and you guys, that doesn't exactly surprise me because Silver is a very interactive character. She's constantly seeming to be looking over my shoulder. And throughout Cruise Ship Kids, I'll take this off for a little bit, but there are areas for children to scribble on, draw in, and interact with her throughout the book. And you might be thinking, I was actually speaking at the SLA the other day, oh dear, we might want to share the book amongst the class, we might want a few copies. Do not worry, we did think of this in advance as well. So it is a book to be written on directly, but it's not like it's things like puzzles and maps, so you can absolutely do it with a piece of paper as well. So there we go. Great. So the next thing, I'm going to, there's a screen on it for me. We can't blame Silver for that one, can we? We really can't. Let's just stick that on here. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to talk to you guys about is nautical miles and ship speeds, which I think is a really, really interesting topic. Okay? So, a nautical mile is a unit of length used in air, marine and space navigation and for the definition of territorial waters. Historically, it was defined as the median arc length. And here we've got a really interesting line diagram, and we've just got a lovely... I'm so sorry, I really like that bit, and Sandra, where's Sandra? Sorry, is this the PowerPoint that I forwarded you with WeTransfer? Yeah? Just give me 2 seconds. Okay. Just give me 2 seconds. Oh yeah. Did you mess with the PowerPoint? Yeah, I was doing that. No, the nautical miles bit isn't boring, Silver. No, what have you done? Why have you messed with the PowerPoint? Right, okay. Right, promise me that's the only time you've messed with the PowerPoint. Promise me. You promise? What do you mean, kind of? I don't understand what kind of promise means. Right, okay, I'm putting you away again, and look, I'm just hoping that I'll move on from nautical miles. I'm sorry, guys, I'm sorry, this is only my second conference, this is a disaster. Okay, right, goodbye, I'm putting you away, and I'm fine. Maybe they didn't want nautical miles, maybe, okay, bye, bye. Okay. We will move on, sorry, I'm feeling flustered here. Great, that is the slide I was expecting, hopefully she will not be involved again. So, as well as being a children's author, and Cruise Ship Kid is my debut novel, I'm also an actor, and I work a lot with horrible histories. Has anyone heard of horrible histories in the room? Yeah. Anyway, people, brilliant. And today I'm sort of doing a little bit of a test run of my school's event on you guys, so thank you. And I tour all over the country with horrible histories, and also perform in the West End a lot. So this summer we are doing Balmy Britain at the Apollo Theatre. If any of you are around, please come and say hi at stage door, and you can remind me of the chaos of this presentation. Amazing. Brilliant. Has anyone in this room read any horrible histories books, or do their kids or own any? Anyone at all? Great. Before I come and maybe ask you, I won't pick on you, but let's just be reminded of a few maybe.
Terrible Cubans hold his shoulders on his feelings, falling through it. What for war strikes his body stitchy got dead. Horrors backing bodies, dirty hammer, possible attention, this is fucking school crime.
So catchy, that song. That literally kids are all like, can you sing that song? I'm like, that's the fastest one lyrically, but okay, we can try. Just to try out a few, give me a whoop if you've read or own a copy of one of these books. So let's go with Bar Victorians. Come on, okay, we're going to go with read, own, or have heard of a copy of Bar Victorians. Yes, Rotten Romans. Gorgeous Georgians. Terrible Tudors. Yes, I wanted that one to get the biggest cheer because actually up until this summer, the Tudors has been the show I've done for 2 years, and I've played. Can we go back? Well, yeah. This was in Elizabeth I's costume. They're always enormous wigs, absurdly hot costumes, but they're the best company ever, and they're actually going to be collabing a little bit with Usborne as well. So we'll be selling the books at stage door and stuff. So hooray! So that is a little bit about me. We won't play the video again. And it seems like the slideshow is going back to how I expected, so wonderful, wonderful. But here is a picture of me and my mum when I was little. And this, I think, is on the Victoria, which is a P&O ship. And I think here, I was probably about 6 or 7. And some people do ask me, is Cruise Ship Kid autobiographical? It isn't. The main character, Silver, is a lot cooler than me, I think. But there are a lot of influences from my real life throughout it. And my mum was a huge inspiration to me, and she was a deputy cruise director on board. But she started as a dancer and worked her way up. And Silver's mum is also a deputy cruise director on board. And we lived in a little cabin at the bottom of the ship, with a little round porthole. And Silver likes to describe her cruise ship, she calls it her cruise ship, as living inside a cruise ship is like living in a cake that floats on the sea. Everything is piled on top of each other, but lucky for us, the ship is made from stronger stuff than cake mixture, otherwise we'd sink. And I've always looked at ships like they are cakes, and I think there's good reason to, because right at the bottom, I see it as we've got the plate, and that is where I'd say that most of the crew live at the bottom of the ship. Most, not all. I'm looking at you because I know Sarah that you worked on them. So, yeah. And then, so we've got the plate at the bottom. Then I call the passenger cabins the sponge layers. Because sometimes, Silver calls them grumpy and boring, not always, but sometimes. Between the sponge layers, she said it's all the sticky fun things to do, the jam and cream layers. And if you've not been, in fact, who in this room has been on a cruise ship? Oh, yes. we're going to have good natters tonight. I want to know everything. I want to know where you've been. But if you haven't been, you know, cruise ships are a bit like mini towns. They've got, you know, restaurants, bars, cafes, amazing shops, and Silver sees those as, yeah, the jam and cream lays. And she also sees the funnel as to look a bit like a candle, which, yeah, so if you see one again, that's kind of, I sort of still, whenever I see one, think, oh, it's like a big old cake. So, brilliant, there's a little introduction to that. Was that the next? Okay, that wasn't the next slide that I was expecting, but that's all right, that's fine, yeah. No problem. Well, that's my professional headshot. Okay, well, I'll tell you a little bit more about the way I got into theatre, I guess. So, the way that I got into theatre was that I used to always befriend people on board the ship, and they would be... Sorry, you're right. It's all good. Yeah, so I used to sometimes hang out with the different members of the cast. Oh, goodness me. Oh, goodness me. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. This is an actual nightmare. Okay, you know what? We're just going to skip over that. We're just going to skip over that quickly, because obviously Silver has tampered with this presentation today, and she knows how important it is, so we'll just skip over it. We're just going to carry on. I'm sorry, Sandra. I'm so sorry. Right, that's it. Surely that's it. Silver, come on. What are you doing? This is such a... All I can do is apologise, guys. I'm really sorry. I was really looking forward to meeting new friends later on today. And I know this is a really, really bad start. So I'm just going to... What is it? So this is... me, and this is Silver, and it was 10 1/4, illustrated by the absolutely wonderful Kate Saunders, who also would probably disapprove of this presentation, and well, I guess she's sort of taking over a bit now, so let's see what she says. Shall we do that, Gemma?
Yeah,
maybe we're sorry to the camera as well. Okay, I didn't trust Andy, the author, to do this presentation alone. This is my story, my diary, so I'm taking over. Should I click to the next slide?
Yeah.
Okay, there's no more poo. Sorry, not supposed to. Anyway, there's no more poo, so we're fine with some questions. And this, I suppose, does make quite a bit of sense, because Silver loves to ask the readers questions throughout the novel, because all she wants in life is to have a best mate. So she wants to get... Cruise Ship Kid is written as a comedy crime that's a hunt for 2 Diamond Globe watchers, but it's also a quest for a lonely little girl to find a friend, and she will interrupt constantly, as is happening today, with questions. So let's go with this one. Are we all right to play along with Silver a little bit? Is that okay? Yeah. Great. Okay, fine. Good. Great. Which do you prefer? Dogs or cats? So, okay, let's go. Put your hands up if it's dogs. Dogs, yeah. Put your hands up if it's cats. Ooh, quite an even split of a room. What about if you like both people and can't decide? Oh, fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Right. Okay, great. I'll let her know that. That's good. I don't know if you've got any more. Let's see what it is. Oh. Crisps or chocolate? Now, you're going to love me for this after that amazing lunch. Let's go with, if you prefer crisps, and if you can, if not, put your arms in the air, but stand up for me. So, if you prefer crisps, stand up. Oh, okay. Let's see if I can. And if you prefer chocolate, stand up. Oh, yes. Some chocoholics in the room. Loving this, loving this. Fantastic. And Silver is going to be absolutely over the moon that I made you all stand up after that lunch. So sorry. Fantastic. Any more questions, Silver? I feel like she can hear us, but okay. This one actually is in the book, so let's go with that. Pizza or salad? Put your hands up if it's pizza. Put your hands up if it's salad. And And just directly quoting Silver here, she is just going to say, Mum, is that you? And that would be her response to that. But no judgment at all, fantastic. Oh, okay, I'm liking how she's doing this. Silver also loves to ask a would you rather question. And when I was little, I was obsessed with these too. So let's find out what she wants to know. Jelly hat or mashed salt? So I'm guessing she means would you rather wear a jelly hat or mashed potato socks? Let's go with if you'd rather. Neither sound great, do they? Let's be honest. But if you'd rather wear a jelly hat, put your hands on your head. If you'd rather wear mashed socks, touch your toes. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm feeling like people are going to be like, rather the mashed hat. I don't care, I don't want to touch my toes, but cool, amazing, amazing. And cheese string fingers or marshmallow elbows, okay. Neither are particularly practical, are they? But let's go with, if it's cheese strings with fingers, put your fingers in it. Yeah, oh, not many, not many. And marshmallow elbows, if you can, your elbows up. Yeah, I'm thinking that'd be quite fun.
It would be nice, wouldn't it? Just to show me you can't eat around it.
That's not
You can't, it's physically impossible.
Can you ever, we tried? No, you can't. You can't. No, that should be in the book. That's a great line. I'm going to steal that. Amazing. Thanks. Okay, surely that's it now. Wow. Sorry, well, as I said before, that's not true. And Silver is not the most popular little girl. She wishes she was. She's desperate to be. And living on a cruise ship, and a little bit from my own experience too, a lot of the time you are on board cruise ships and surrounded by older people. Kids might come on board and go to the brilliant kids club, as we discussed, but then you get off again, because they're on holiday. And so Silver is a little bit afraid of other kids. And as I said, this book is a crime adventure. But also, if I'm lucky enough that you guys are willing to share this book with all the brilliant readers you know, I want those readers to take away from this as well that this is a quest for friendship. So I'm guessing she might be next up going to tell us a little bit how she feels about not having many mates. I'm guessing. Right. As much as I think she'd like to know Taylor Swift, she most certainly doesn't. I'd like to know Taylor Swift too, but I'm not quite sure where she's going with this. Okay, I am also not particularly. Does anyone know which football team this is? This which? Well, who said that? It's which?
England.
Oh, I should have known that really, shouldn't I? That's quite a key one. Brilliant, thank you. Yeah, she, again, I'm sure she'd like to be a part of that team, but again, that's not true. So, okay. I get where she's going with this, actually. So, as I was saying before, Silver is desperate to make a best name. And in Cruise Ship Kid Book 1, a little girl called Yana comes on the ship. And she, in Silver's eyes, is the most popular, perfect, potential friend she's ever seen. But Silver thinks, there's no way I can be friends with this girl, no way. So she writes a list. And throughout the book, she adds to that list. And this is her things to change about myself to make Yana my best friend. In fact, would you help me out with these? So when I say one, you read out. Okay? So 1.
My accent.
2.
My clothes.
3.
Don't be boring.
Yeah. And all of those things here are extremely important to me. And when I was writing about this book, I'd say, again, it's a comedy crime adventure, but this is the heart of the book. If, again, you guys, I'm lucky enough that you guys are communicating this book to your readers, this is the heart. Because Silver believes she's got to change these things. So, to start on accent, Silver is a little girl from the north of England. That's where she was born. I know she lives on the ship, but she was born there. And has quite a strong Yorkshire accent. I'm not sure where I got that one from, but and when she meets Yana, she thinks, oh, Yana's got a posher accent, so I need to change mine. And between us, I actually think that accent is something that's sometimes not discussed as much in children's books. And I want kids to read this book and be so proud of where they're from. And just to share with you guys a little story of my own. When I first moved down to London, and I went to uni, then drama school, and then started tutoring, and met some amazing families and taught their kids English. And there was one mum I met who I got on very well with at the end. But she, we'd only communicated via email and text, and she had seen a picture of me, I think. And then I wore not a nautical outfit that day, but a suit. Turned up on her doorstep, she opened the door, I said, oh, hello Emma, welcome, coming in. And I said, oh, are you all right? Thank you for having me. And she went, I didn't expect you to sound like that. And at the time, I laughed and went, oh, yeah, because it was, and then I was early 20s, and but it is that thing, one of the, I think, important parts of this book is that we should be so proud of where we're from. Even if we've got, a Yorkshire accent, an extremely posh accent, wherever we're from in the world, I want kids to think, I love my accent, actually. And I wish I'd said that back at, well, you know what, I might not have kept the job, maybe, but I wish I had said that back. Sorry, where's my voice? Hang on, it's buzzing on my wrist. Has anyone else got an Apple Watch and it buzzes when there's a text? You know what, it might be my mom checking in how this is going, but she's worried for me. Let's have a little look. Guess who it's from?
Silver.
It's from Silver. Just have a look here, I'll just show you. It says, hey, it's me, Silver. Another question for you. Great, we're just having a nice pointed bit about accent and being true to who you are, but okay. Would you rather be a chicken or a sheep? Cluck like a chicken for chicken. Bar for sheep. All right, we'll just do this all at once and get it over and done quick. 3, 2, 1.
Bar.
A lot of sheep! I did not expect there to be so many sheep there. And then she's put, if you really did it, ha ha ha, you are funny, Usborne grown-ups. Chicken emoji, sheep emoji, broccoli emoji. I'm not quite sure. There we go. Okay, right, let's go back to what we're doing. The next point on this is that she would really like to change her clothes. And this is another thing, I was actually chatting with a couple of people about this before lunch as well here. When you are younger, I think, you think, oh, I just want to look like them, the popular people, right? Sometimes. I'll overshare a bit here. When I made the jump from junior, I was on the cruise ships for a lot of my early childhood, and then went back to land, and went to normal school when I got older. So I've had both experiences. And when I moved to year 7, I saw a popular group of girls and thought, wow, I want to be mates with them. And I wasn't. And I used to wear bright clothes, dresses, skirts, frilly socks. I loved my clothes at junior school. I thought, I know how I'm going to do it. I've got an action plan. I'll start wearing more logo t-shirts, grey colours. And I look back at that time in my life and I think, whoa, I don't look like me there at all. And again, that's a normal thing, like we all do that. You want to fit in with the popular kids. But then, recently, when I was writing this book, I started thinking, gosh, and this is an overshare here, but how much have I actually changed since then? I'm 32 now, and sometimes, embarrassingly so, I'll go clothes shopping. I became friends with those girls, by the way, and they're brilliant, and they're still my mates. They're so supportive of everything, they're wonderful girls. And they probably couldn't care less what I wear. But in the back of my brain, if I go clothes shopping, I'll try something on, and I really like it, and I go, yeah, I'm buying that, I love it. And then, very embarrassingly so, I'll take a photo of it, and I'll send it to one of those popular girls from when I was 11 and say, hey, what do you think of this? And if they're like, oh, I love it, I'm like, okay, great, I'll buy that. How embarrassing is that? I'm 32 years old. And so I've tried to stop doing that, but it is, that's, still in the back of my head. I hope they like it when I see them. I hope they like what I'm wearing today. And so the other thing about this book that I really hope that, Usborne readers get from it is, oh, actually, I like my clothes as they are, I hope. And then on the final one, don't be boring. Well, Silver is most definitely not boring. Promise that wasn't Silver this time. And she's not boring. But to be friends with Yana, she does get a bit adventurous with the things she gets up to on the ship, and she tries to impress her a lot. I won't give any spoilers, but she gets into a bit of trouble for that too. And this is another theme, not changing what you like. And I know a little boy that at the moment has gone into, I think he's finishing year 6 at the moment, and went to a new school, and he's changed his football team preference 3 times since starting. And so, what I'm getting at here is that I don't want any kids to feel they have to change to have mates. And if you wouldn't mind humouring me on this one, because I will be delicately addressing this with schools, I'm going to ask you the bottom question, but I'm not going to single anybody out, of course. It's just for you to think about. But I'd love you guys to go back to your 10 and a quarter-year-old selves, and just in your head think, was there anything I wanted to change about myself? And just hold it in your head, I'll just give you a few seconds. And now, if you wouldn't mind, I want you to ask that question again to yourself, as I overshared. Is there anything now you think I'd love to change that about myself? And then I'm going to very swiftly move on, because obviously the point of this book is not to make anyone believe they should ever change themselves in any way to be mates with anyone else. Things to change about myself to make Yana my best friend. This is a spoiler from near the end, but my accent. I love my accent now. My clothes. I am always going to wear things that make me feel like the Gibraltar Pop Group Day. I'm not explaining that one, it is a spoiler. Don't be boring, I'm not. All the things I wanted to change, I think, are my best bits. So, if you thought anything when you were 10 and a quarter, or now, that might be your best bit too. Unless you're a grown-up and thought, I must give my child more chocolate and screen time and then keep that one in. I think Silver would agree. And just to conclude this little bit here, just on your tables, just for 20 seconds or so, would you mind turning to the person next to you? And maybe try to find one word or maybe a couple of words that answer, what do you think makes someone a great friend? We'll just give you a little bit of time just to chat between yourselves. I won't pick on anyone. I can't. This is one of the topics that I think hopefully really ties in with cruise ship kids. So you might think, oh, it's a book set in the sea, but actually this is the heart. So would you mind, again, not picking on anyone, I'll count down from 3, and you guys just say maybe one or a couple of the words that your response to this question. Does that make sense? So 3, 2, 1. Ooh, I've got no idea what you're saying. No, but did anyone say clothes? Did anyone say accent? Did anyone say not being boring? But those were the things I honestly believed would make me have mates when I was younger. So I'll leave us on that note. Great, okay. This ties in nicely to what we're talking about, because Silver might not have any pals her own age at the start of Cruise Ship Kid, but she does have the gang, which are an 80-plus crime-solving team at the ready for her. And I love the gang. And also, just so you guys know, sometimes my book is comped to, and this comp was given by people much cleverer than me at Usborne, but they call it sometimes Thursday Murder Club for Kids. And that seems to go down well. I hadn't read Thursday Murder Club when I was writing the first book, but I have since, and I'm obsessed with it, so I love that comp, if that's ever helpful to you guys. Okay, I'm going to introduce you to the gang. Let's start with, hang on, sorry, I'm getting used to this, there we go. Betty on the end here, this is Betty. She can knit you absolutely anything, and is never without her knitting needles. Here we've got Abdul. Abdul used to be a famous actor when he was younger, so he sometimes gets still recognised, and I think Silver calls him, if old people could be cool, then Abdul would be. So, and then if I go back over here, we've got Grumpy Gwendolyn. She is a huge football fan, and also used to be a head teacher, and you can tell. And then we've got Elvira, one of my favourite characters in the whole book. She is one of the most fabulous mid-80s women you'll ever meet. She will always be dressed in leopard print or sequins, including to the pool. And she'll have flip-flops with high heels, and she is a real fashionista who kind of, over the series, shows Silver that you should dress how you want to dress. And then in the middle, we've got Tommy and Sylvia. And some people ask me, do you ever base any of your, characters on anyone you've ever met? Little facts about them, or yeah. Full disclosure, I haven't, based tiny bits of these people on anyone. They are my grandparents. And you'll notice Katie's done such a wonderful job, especially when you see my granddad's face in a minute. She's captured him fully. So if you don't mind, I'd love to share a little bit about my grandparents with you guys. This is them, and they passed away a couple of years ago, but they, I promise you, were the greatest people I've ever known, ever. They were called Tommy and Sylvia, so I've literally taken them and put them in the book. Is that allowed? I don't think they'd mind, but I hope they would be proud to be in the gang. Yeah, because I couldn't be prouder to have been their granddaughter. And this is us, little me and Mama and Grandad. And a fact about the characters, Tommy and Sylvia, is that they always wear matching outfits. And my grandparents did sometimes, but not all the time. And I was going back through a few of my old diaries and was like, hang on, they're pretty matching here by coincidence. That's nearly the same colour. So I must have got that directly from them. And I'll tell you a little bit later about diaries, but here I've written Mama and Grandad. This is a picture of me, Grandad and Mama on Grandad's birthday. Do my family only take pictures of birthdays? And honestly, my diaries were sassy throughout. I was definitely trying at the humour then, but it is true we had a lot of cakes. But yeah, that's them when I was younger. And this is them towards later on in their life, on my granddad's 90th. And that's my mum on the end, our old house. And then this picture is, I'd say, one of my favourite pictures in the world, because my grandparents were performers. They were a singing double act called Tommy and Sylvia Snap, and they toured the country. Oh. So, yeah, I just think it's such a cool picture, and they look so glam. And I hope they'd be proud to be a huge part of the gang. So yeah, amazing. Okay, here is another cruise ship, going back to that. This one is Arvia that I went on last year to research for book 2. Spoiler alert, kidnapped in the Caribbean. No one was kidnapped, thankfully, but it was a nice holiday. And when I'm talking to kids about this, I think it's amazing to look at the difference between that ship from 25 years ago and now. Because I think they still look like a cake, so great. And not a huge amount has changed, but the size. So book 1 is set on a smaller ship, and book 2 is on a mega ship. So I'm hoping that will get kids excited for the second one too. This picture was with a captain, and it says at the bottom, Millennium Cruise. I'm like, whoa. I said, what hell ago? And on this cruise that we took last year, we actually, if you can see the row of glass windows there, I won't go and point and ruin this again, but we went up onto the bridge with the captain. Has anyone ever done that experience? Because yeah, have you? Oh, brilliant. We can chat about that later, because it was amazing. And I misremembered going up onto the bridge where the captain drives the boat from as a kid. And again, with schools, I'll be sharing about this, because I think to me, where a captain drives a boat and steers the ship, it's going to be like a mega, like a pirate ship wheel, right? That's what I think, even though I lived on them as a kid. But it was amazing, and there is a scene set up on the bridge that actually the wheel that steers the ship is tiny, smaller than a car wheel. It's completely tiny. And the steering, it all looks a bit like you're in a video game area. There's so many buttons and screens. But then the steering little rod is I'd honestly say, as big as my little finger. I was so desperate to go and give it a push. I didn't, because we'd been going on a different course, but I just found It's incredible to think an enormous ship like that has a tiny wheel and a tiny stick. Madness. So hopefully kids will like hearing about that too. Brilliant. Okay, right. So we're getting into a section that you'll either murder me for or at the big, but you know, you promise to go along with it. So, see before words. So you might know this already, guys, but let's relearn it just in case not. On board, we don't call the sides of the ship right and left. We say forward for front. So would you mind repeating them after me? Is that all right? So forward for front, forward. Starboard for right, starboard. Port for left,
Port.
and aft for back.
Aft.
Amazing, we've got it, we've got it. Okay, how can you remember that? Oh, do they look like song lyrics? Are people going to kill me? Maybe, but that's all right, we're good, I'll pay you back later. I am going to go through a little bit of a song here, and let's just go for it, okay? So, F for front is forward.
F for front is forward.
Starboard is the right side.
Starboard is the right side.
Port the left.
Port the left.
And aft is the back.
Aft is the back.
I thought we got away with this, and she's done it again. I'm so sorry, Sandra. I'm so sorry. I mean, I suppose it does kind of work for the song. Yeah, it does work. Let's carry on. The aft is the what side?
The aft is the what
The
side?
drafty back side.
The drafty back side.
And if you can't remember,
And if you can't remember,
we shout a little louder.
we shout a little louder.
10 out of 10. I'm so impressed. Thank you guys. I can see some faces like we were liking this and now we hate it. But I'm going to actually split you guys because I like a little bit of a competition. All right. So I am going to divide you down the middle. Sorry about that. A little bit. Yeah, painful for you, man. Sorry. And everyone on this side, you are on my side. Give me a cheer. And everyone on this side, I'm going to call you Silver's side. Give Silver a cheer. Amazing. Okay, we are going to start with my side. So let's go for it. We've got the lyrics. Yes. At the front is forward.
F for front is forward.
Starboard is the right side.
Starboard is the right side.
Port the left.
Port the left.
And aft is the back side.
And aft is the back
The
side.
aft is the what side?
The aft is the what
The
side?
drafty back side.
Drafty back side.
And if you can't remember,
And if you can't remember,
we shout a little louder.
we shout a little louder.
Oh yeah, give yourself a cheer.
Woo!
Okay, myself are pretty good. Are we feeling the pressure? Are we? Just feeling hatred over here. Okay, right. Let's go again. So, 2, 3, 4. F the front is forward.
F the front is forward.
Starboard is the right side.
Starboard is the right side.
Port the left.
Port the left.
And aft is the back side.
And aft is the back
The
side.
aft is the what
The
side?
aft is the what
The
side?
drafty back side.
Drafty back side.
And if you can't remember,
And if you can't remember,
we shout a little louder.
shout a little louder.
Oh yeah, give yourselves a cheer. Amazing. Now Sandra's turned all on your own. Is that okay? Because we've been communicating. Is that not? No? 100% no? Okay, fine. So to conclude this little bit, what I want you to do, because I still can't quite decide, is you're going to take over. I'll still sing with both sides, but again, with your teams, we're going to do my side starts, okay? Silver's side repeats, call and response song, and Sandra is going to pick a winner. Okay? Brilliant. And that's the last time I'll pick on you, I promise. Okay, so you're going to start here, and then you'll repeat. Is that all right? So, 2, 3, 4. F the front is forward. F the front is forward.
Starboard is the right side. Starboard is the right side. Port the left. Port the left.
Come on.
And aft is the back side. And aft is the back side.
The aft is the what side? The aft is the what side?
The drafty back side. The drafty back side. And if you can't remember, we shout a little louder. We shout a little louder.
Massive cheer that was 10 out of 10, and I'm really sorry for that, but also that has made my comment. I was like, will they do it at Usborne? I know I can get the kids to do it, but you did it. That was amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, so the final thing that I wanted to talk to you about, because I think then I'd love to answer some questions as well, is my diaries. And these books are written, obviously from Silver's perspective, but when I was Silver's age, I actually kept a diary while living on board ships, and I do actually have them in here. There we go, just so you can see. They're in there, and I'll show you them properly later, because they're like, yeah, mad that little me kept that diary. And I've got them bigger on the screen to make more sense. But I thought it was very cool to look back and think, whoa, these diaries that I did are going to become a book that you amazing people are going to be able to hopefully share with children. That really makes me so happy. I promise we have changed them a bit. It's not just like verbatim those diaries. Not brilliant editing team was one, it's not just those. But not to talk about me, it's made me think about diaries in general. And I'd love to ask the room here, does anyone keep a diary? Yes, brilliant. Only a couple, but that makes me very happy, because being honest with you, actually, up until maybe lockdown time, if someone had said to me, do you have a diary? I'd be like, yeah. I've got a Google Calendar, and I've got a notebook, and it's got loads of to-dos on it, and that's a diary, which of course it is, and I know everybody in this room is so busy. I've been hearing at lunchtime how many amazing things you do. But it makes me a little bit sad that what I thought was a diary is just, you know, a tick checklist, and that I'm so happy I've got these to look back on. And so I am trying to get into just writing a little bit of a diary in the day. Not much, just a few lines. But coming back to children, obviously, the most important thing about all this. The other thing I'd love kids to take away from solving the mystery, from hoping that they're already a good enough friend, that the back 2 pages are, wait, stop, one last thing. Silver's Guide to Starting a Diary. And I hope this might encourage some kids to go, hey, you know what? I'm going to have a go, because when I did used to teach, I know that children would go, if I said, right, you've got half an hour to do a piece of creative writing, I know there's a lot of teachers in this room, but half an hour, off you go. Some kids are like, yes, can I have more paper, right? And others are like, I have no idea what to write. What? I don't want to, that's so boring, I don't care. But then sometimes I give them the prompt back, okay, not a story, answer for me, hi, I'm blank. I like blank even more than sweets, and yesterday I. No, alright, okay, I'll do that. And I just really hope that this book might encourage kids to go, well, actually, I can write my own diary. Because that could lead them to become, to writing books and getting into creative writing, or they might have no interest in that. But that they go, I'm actually a bit stressed out at the minute. I know I found this really useful, writing down how you feel, and hopefully then understanding their thoughts a little bit better. And yeah, I challenge you guys back as well, going, why not? You're all a massive book lovers that are brilliant with words. Why not? I want to know. I want to know what you guys were up to 10 years ago, and I want to know what you were doing in 10 years' time. So if you get time, why not start your own and show kids and go, I'm actually keeping my own at the minute too. And if they are reluctant readers and reluctant writers, but they really like highly, illustrated things, what about, don't worry about writing what you did yesterday, but could you draw it for me? And we might have some amazing, illustrators of the future. I'm sorry. It's going again. Right, hopefully this is the last time. Let's have a look. What is she saying? You never know, it could be my mum this time, but maybe not. Hey, long time no speak. Sarah, help me out with this. Can you help me read this? What did she say? Just that line.
I think you've heard enough from Emma, the author, now. I want you to hear some of my diary.
Yeah.
Emma, the author, I put one in your bag, and I 10 out of 10 recommend starting at page 147. Bye. I shall see you soon, Silver.
Amazing, thank you. Amazing, great. And then she's put cake emoji, chocolate emoji, cookie emoji. I know we've had lunch, but maybe that's a clue to what. Does anyone remember what page she said? 147. Okay. All right. Oh, great. She has put a marker in there, and it's a Pokemon card. That's great. I think we need to get Silver some bookmarks, don't we? But if you don't mind, I'd absolutely love to read a little bit for you. That would be amazing. So, chocolate buffet. As soon as we walked up to the Sunrise restaurant, I grinned. This was so much better than lunch. I had forgotten it was today. On the second sea day of every cruise, something amazing happens. There is a big buffet with tons of tables full of chocolate. I know this sounds like the kind of thing I'd make up when Amandeep asks me if I'm listening, and I've drawn a profiterole pyramid on my exercise book. But at this buffet, there really are profiterole pyramids. Giant ones. Yana and I walked into the restaurant. No way, she said. The theme of the buffet for this cruise was the wonders of the world. And you guessed it, everything was made of chocolate. The Great Wall of China went the whole way around the room and was made from chocolate fingers. A white chocolate Roman Colosseum in Italy was next to Chichen Itza in Mexico that was built with chocolate wafer biscuits piled on top of each other. In the centre was a huge Taj Mahal in India with a chocolate dome at the top that looked like a massive Easter egg. You can't eat the chocolate sculptures, but you can eat everything else at the buffet. When I usually go with Mum, I am allowed to eat one thing. One. All the other kids fill their trays high, but Mum says I can't because we are not on holiday, and if they ate that much chocolate every cruise, my teeth would fall out. I would happily risk it and glue them back in with caramel. Mum doesn't know I'm at the buffet today, so I can eat anything I want. Let's look around. The watch could be anywhere, I said. Wait, where did they come from? Through that spinny door? Yana pointed at two waiters with fresh trays of swirly chocolates. The galley? What's the galley like? I don't know, I'm not allowed in there, come on, I replied, as I pulled Yana back towards the buffet. I know, reader. We were there to do some very sensible and serious searching for the watch, but we had to try a bit of chocolate. It would be rude not to, right? Where I looked for the watch versus did I eat some? Under the hot chocolate cookies, yes. Next to the molten chocolate lava cake, yes. Behind the chocolate chunk cheesecake, of course. In the middle of the chocolate caramel cake pops, no. Just jokes, yes. Amazing. Thank you so much, everybody. This was such a pleasure to speak to you all. I'm so excited to answer to everybody tonight as well, and we're doing the quiz as well. But I think there's also some time for questions. Is that, if you've got any, that would be amazing. Hi.
I'm just really intrigued. How old were you when you lived on the cruise ship?
So from being born to being 6, nearly 7 full time, except when my parents went on leave, and then I went back to normal school, but still every single holiday was going on, so it felt like my home. Do you see what I mean? So even when I was back at land school, I'd go straight back on the ship. So right up until 10, 11, it felt like my whole life, really. Have you been on a cruise?
Yeah, just this year.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to hear about that. Yeah. Amazing. Has anyone else got?
I just wanted to say a personal thank you for writing the book. So my middle little boy is autistic, and just this month he's been really struggling and to fit in. He's completely different from all of his friends in his class. He doesn't have many friends at all, and he came home to me and said, "Mummy, I just want some friends to like me." And so all the boys in his class love football. He really doesn't. He likes American football. He gets picked on for that, and he came at how he said about the clothes and the accent. He said to me, "Is it because I've got a different haircut, and is it because of the clothes that I wear?" So I think this book is very important for that.
Thank you so much. And yeah, to your son, it's, you know, he's got these different interests, and from all the kids I know that have different interests, they become the coolest ones in life as they get older.
He is very cool.
I bet, you know. So you can tell him, one of my friends that always, just something to tell him about, one of my friends that always dressed really out there, and everyone, she got really picked on at school, and we were really good mates. She's called Kate, and she never cared, and I was always like, that's the coolest thing, like, to not care, but it's hard as a kid, right, because it's to say that. And just to tell you, son, she then went to London Fashion College and is absolutely smashing it. So
I can also see him doing that.
yeah, brilliant. Oh my gosh, I can't wait for that. How exciting for him. This table's still fuming at me for making them sick. I'm going to literally ply them with some wine later or something. Good man.
Can you tell us a little bit about your writing process, how you start and what your writing day might look like?
Yeah, of course. It's such a good question. And I wish I had a really well-structured answer. I have an app that's a timer. It's called Flora, and if you donate to a charity, if you break your promised time, and I'm not going to lie to you, I have donated quite a bit to charity. But no, I think it's such a good question, and I do talk with kids about this and other aspiring authors and stuff, because I do read about these amazing writers that get up at 4 every day and write for 6 hours, but mine varies, my process varies so much, and I'm balancing doing acting and writing, which is obviously the dream, but when I'm in rehearsals, it will reduce and I might only do really half an hour a day. But when I'm between shows, I like to set myself a rough guide for the day. That could be 4 hours. And my main thing is, don't beat yourself up if you do come under that, and try and put other nice things in. So I might go for a walk first thing or for a run and come back. But it does help my brain to have that rough goal for the day. Because then I can, because some days, right, I might imagine there's a lot of writers in this room, some days you can feel like you've absolutely smashed writing and that's great. And others, I might write a paragraph, but if I've dedicated that little bit of time, I know I've done 6 hours or 8 hours depending on the day, I feel proud of myself. Because it's not about the amount, is it? Because some days we're really inspired to write stuff and others, I might have, written a, "Hi, I'm ... and that's all I've done for the day. So yeah, it really varies, but that app is good.
My question is not how well you write your books and describe John, and more about your experiences on the cruise. Like, what was your best moment? But in the same time, did you have any scariest experiences?
Yeah,
I'm sure you have in 7+ years.
Yeah, 100%. The best moments, I think, were genuinely meeting the amazing older generation of people that I got to know as a kid. People like my Uncle Tom, who was in no way related to me, but I had so many uncles because he'd teach me a great trick. This one where I can't do it like he did, but you take your thumb off like that. I was fascinated by how he did it. And he'd be the kind of passenger that would just jump out of doors, like surprise you. But yeah, the people and the passengers and the crew on ships as well. So this book celebrates intergenerational relationships, but it's also about class and hierarchy. And I love ships, as you can tell. But my goodness, do the crew on ships work so hard. I used to be really good mates with the cabin stewards because they'd live near me, and they are just, they often live away from their families to send money home. And I don't know when they sleep. They turn around so many cabins. So it hopefully celebrates them too. So that would be best moment.
No days off.
No days off?
No days off.
Yeah, and they sometimes don't have debt privileges, so they can't even go above into the sunshine, you know, so it does address those issues too while celebrating cruise ships. So it celebrates them and the people that work in them. So that's best bits. And then the worst, I've got a vivid memory of, my mum is one of my favourite people in the world, but because she was a deputy cruise director, she had rules to abide by, and I was meant to too, because I saw myself as a mini crew member, like Silver does, and I entered myself into a talent show on board the ship with all the passengers, and they were all dressed beautifully in frilly dresses and, you know, little suits. And I went on the stage in front of all the officers and all the passengers and sang Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, dressed in head-to-toe paint because I'd done finger painting before. I didn't tell her. And every part of me was covered in paint, and she was very cross. So, and I reminded her of that story recently. She was like, I'm still cross about that. I can't believe you did it. So that would be worst moment. With your nautical top. I'm loving the nautical. I've seen quite a few nautical themed clothes.
I wondered if 10-and-a-quarter-old Emma knew she was going to write a book, or when that tipping point was for you to be like, yeah, I want to write a book and I'm going to do this. When did that happen?
I love that question. I've always loved writing, and I always dreamed of being a writer. Actually, before being an actor, it was yeah, I loved writing and writing stories. But I don't know if she would believe this was happening. I think, like, when I came in here and met all the wonderful people here, I was like, this is mad, this can't be my book. But she'd be so proud and excited and, like, grateful to you guys as well that you might, I know there's a lot of wonderful books, but she'd be sharing it with other children. So, yeah, she'd be very grateful.
Thank you. When is the book going to get released?
It's out. Oh, I should have said that, shouldn't I? It's out officially on the 3rd of July.
Thanks.
So, I'm going to remember that for future things.
Hey.
Hi.
Clearly we've got to sell lots of your books. What's the plan? Are they going to be a whole series? Is it like a trilogy?
So at the moment it's confirmed for 2 books. I'm hopeful that there might be some more. That's all I know, and I really am not.
Like you've got more of
Oh yeah, definitely. And also, because the last year we went to the Caribbean to research. I promise I did research, alongside some cocktails that, you know, they had to just come along with it. But I want to travel again and experience the places I did as a kid. But also, I think the fact it's a crime and each book will have a different crime in it leaves quite a lot open for the future. So we've got a theft, a kidnap, and there's, yeah, I won't give spoilers, but there are more ideas, so hopefully. No.
Are you looking to do autumn events for us to promote you to schools?
1000%. I'm so keen to do as many. I'm saying this to Fritz the other day in the car. I'm so keen, and the nice thing is, because, well, firstly, I absolutely, the point of this, writing this book is I want to share it with as many children as possible. And as you'll have seen, and I'm really sorry this table, getting children as involved in the event. It's not a me show, it's I want them to be singing, I want them to be sharing experiences about friendship. So yes, 1,000,000%. And the nice thing is, because I am fully self-employed and as an actor, when I'm in, for example, the West End at the moment, that'll be when I'm locked into that. But in between things, my diary is just for writing. So I will be so free and keen for events.
Will we have a proximity where you'll travel? I just know.
Anywhere? Anywhere there. Is that on the table? Caribbean, great. That hand, though, I think it was a stretch, but that's a good idea, a stretch. Oh.
I don't think I need a mic.
No, I don't know if I really did either. I'm so loud. I could have got rid of it.
I was just wondering what, like, middle age range is it catered for? Or,
Yeah.
like, yeah, what age?
I think Usborne is sort of saying 8+.
Yeah.
But as we were discussing earlier.
My 6-year-old would enjoy it.
Yeah, I've seen the spacing and I think, yeah,
Because it is a chunky-ish book. It's not, but there is a lot of space, and when you open it, you'll see it's not. Hopefully, hasn't been designed. It's been designed amazingly, but hasn't been designed in a way that would put off younger readers. Because there's a lot of, for example, this sort of page. So I'd say, for very confident readers, 6+, and also I was discussing this recently, but for reluctant readers, I also think year 7s, because it feels a chunky version. Originally I was only going to do events for primary, but some people have been approaching me for just year 7 specific events, because I actually think a year 7 could feel quite proud of themselves for getting through a chunky book, even if they struggle, I think. Would you agree? I feel like you guys all know this better than me. Brilliant.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Who is the most famous person that you've met?
What? Is that a question to test me out of the kids?
Yeah, so how many people, obviously famous people, and have you got any, like, dish the dirt on? Just asking for a friend.
I want to. That might be a question to answer later when I've got last line. But yeah, oh my goodness, that I need a prep to answer this.
Kids will ask you though.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking from a child.
No, I like it. There's definitely been like royalty on the ships in the past, 100%. But celeb-wise, I do have some celebrity friends, but I will tell you later after wine. That's my answer, and I'm sticking to it. Amazing, yes.
Sorry, have you been in a storm? As I've never been. How is that feeling? Is it very scary when you're going to time?
Yeah, what a brilliant question. Yeah, loads of storms. Because ships in general, especially the size of Arvia and stuff, in general, you can kind of sleep on a cruise ship and not feel, on a calm day, feel like I can forget it's moving. But when you're doing a transatlantic crossing back to the UK on a ship, you can feel it's moving. And we used to have a system in the cabin where the ship, when it would rock like this, and again, you can stand, but for example, this table, this glass of water here would be in danger, and you'd have to hold on to it. It would knock things off. And then this is in the book as well. There'd be times with my mum, we'd have a system that we'd know when it got rocky, because it was so second nature, we'd just go into holding up certain things. So we'd be like, oh, okay, and we'd carry on a conversation like this, just knowing that the fruit bowl and the cupboard will open and things will come out. So when you're used to it, it's fine, but they really do rock in a storm. But go to the Caribbean and just stay around that area in sunny times. No problem.
Okay. Can we please give a huge round of applause?